Halo Infinite is shaping up to be one of the best Halo releases I have ever seen. Now, I'm not just saying that because it's been 6 years since a mainline Halo release. There are so many things shown off today from IGN, and shout out to Miranda, the woman who actually did the whole video, the gameplay, and spoke about the characters. She did a really good job. She knew about the characters, she knew their background, she knew the relationship between the Master Chief and Cortana, she knew about Halo 5, about Locke and how it wasn't well received, and compared to the multiplayer stuff, she was really good at the game. Combine all those three things together and it was a really well thought out and really well put together video. So there's so many new things we got shown today. So I thought I would talk about my plans for Halo Infinite's content, what I'm planning to do, what I want to do with the game, and talk about some of the new stuff that's been shown. So first up, we're going to talk about what I really liked. And the number one thing would be seeing the Halo 1 Halo CE Cortana. There's something very nostalgic for me, as Halo CE is my favorite game of all time. Seeing the Halo Combat Evolved Cortana reminded me very much of my childhood. Although I saw one photo online and Halsey looks kind of like possessed, like a demon. Her eyes were like jet black. But I really loved seeing Cortana. I also absolutely love this huge pan across the landscape of Zeta Halo. If you can get up there, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit in a second about the vehicles you can call in. If I can get a vehicle up there, oh my god. The things I'm going to be able to do, launching off the top with a mongoose or a warthog, being able to have any weapon I want, any vehicle I want, any equipment I want, on a huge sandbox. You guys who have watched my channel for the past year, maybe 2 years, even long-term subscribers, seeing the stuff I've done on Halo MCC, there really is no limit to the stuff I can do on Halo Infinite. And that's a very exciting time for not only me, but for people who pick up the game, they're going to be unrestricted and play the way they want to play, which should add a really nice layer of replayability. From watching the gameplay, you can see from what Miranda says as well, that Halo Infinite Zeta Halo is broken up into like sections, like islands, that are accessible through light bridges. And I just want to know, can you just fly straight over the map? Or are the light bridges used as load zones? How much of the map is loaded at once? And will different platforms have varying levels of what is loaded in at once? I would imagine the original Xbox One is going to be very, very different compared to the PC version. There's some very nuanced things that I really liked when watching this gameplay. One was the jackals. The way they actually fire wasn't just horizontally through the shield, it was actually vertically. They flipped up the shield and then they shot through it like that. I'll put it on the screen now. Also, the Elite activating his shield was really cool. They weren't just on permanently. And also the cute wildlife is a huge bonus. Adding that extra layer of immersiveness, I feel like will go a very long way. And that's something I would have loved to have seen in Halo CE, but unfortunately was cut due to time constraints or all the other things that just happen when developing a game. Another thing that I really loved, and I've noticed that I'm not the only one who feels the same way, is they're very invested in the overall story of Halo Infinite. And this was a very big problem with Halo 5. I don't think anyone really cared about the main storyline, especially with Fireteam Osiris, and that's where Halo Infinite is very different. There's so many different things happening with the storyline, all these unknowns that we don't know about yet. You of course have the main Banished storyline, humanity fighting the Banished, Master Chief going up against Escharum, and then obviously Atriox at some point. There was a huge hologram of Atriox in the gameplay shown too, and Hidden Experiment made a very good point that if they've made this huge hologram, there's a very good chance they made a 3D model to use of him in game, so we may see him appear at some point. But aside from the Banished storyline, we have everything that's happening with Cortana and the weapon. We don't know what's going to happen with that. The Harbinger, what happened to the Prometheans, Warden Eternal, Halo 5's ending. There's so many question marks that we just don't know what has happened or what is going to happen. How did the Infinity get blown up? What happened to Lasky? Lasky was probably the only Halo 4, Halo 5 character I really liked. So what happened to him? What happened to Sarah Palmer? We know she was on the Infinity. Is she dead? But I feel like there's so many different DLCs that could come out of it. Is the Arbiter in Halo Infinite? Will there be an Elite Story DLC on Sanghelios? And that's where I feel like Halo Infinite's strength lies. There's going to be so many different things that can be added to the game, to the universe. The game we get on December 8th is going to be a baseline for stories to come. And that's for the campaign and the multiplayer. The potential really is limitless. I was going to say infinite, but even that's too cheesy for me. Miranda, the woman from IGN who was giving us the walkthrough of Halo Infinite, you could say, alluded to the Flood. Yes, she said the F word, but didn't encounter any. But even if they aren't in this story, they aren't in the baseline game, there's no reason why they can't be added in future. A lot of people have speculated because of the game's rating, there won't be the Flood at all. From Australia, we have a couple different rating systems. From America, we have PG, M, and then MA15+. Halo 1 and Halo 2 are both MA15+, and then Halo 3 was just M. So it'll be interesting to see what rating the game gets in Australia because it keeps flip-flopping between a couple different ones. If the Flood are in the game, this raises another big question, which I saw a lot of people talking about in my last video, was the lack of blood in Halo Infinite. There's no blood, no gore, which will obviously push it up the ratings. For a more mature audience, can the Flood be done right without that lack of gore? But that's just a question I thought I'd put to you guys. I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments below. Moving on from that, we have the actual environments themselves. Not only is the wide open vistas, but the enclosed dungeons, the ships, the overall aesthetic of the game feels like a true sequel to past Halo titles. Very well maybe the best looking Halo title. The 1 year delay was so worth it. That extra time for polish and refinement, but you can really see the care that has been put into the game. The extra details that have been added in go such a long way for the overall atmosphere of the game. This finally brings me to the overall sandbox, the new equipment, and the little perks that you get when you level up the set equipment. By getting power cores, you get to upgrade your equipment. The grapple hook gets to have like a lightning effect, a shock effect that will actually stun enemies. The thruster gives you invisibility. I really hope that Legendary is a true Legendary experience that is really, really hard. From watching the Game Informer gameplay preview, Joe Staten said himself that you're going to need all of these little gadgets for Halo Infinite's Legendary, but we'll see what happens. I'm just excited to combine multiple equipments and fly across the map. We haven't seen the repulsor in the campaign at all yet, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I was really hoping to combine the repulsor and the grapple hook, maybe get like 2 or 3 fusion coils, place them underneath the Warthog, set a plasma grenade down and hammer it at the same time, hit the grapple hook, or even fire a repulsor to add to the explosion, stack them all together. But grapple hook the Warthog debris, fly across the entire map, hit a Banshee hijack, land on an enemy. And this is a little bit morbid, but I could even use the wildlife body. If the body has collision, the gophers, what if I hammer launch the gopher into the air and then grapple hook off of it? And it goes across the map and I use that to kill the banished? That would be that would be hilarious to watch. But yeah, there is so many things with Halo Infinite Sandbox that I cannot wait to play it come December 8th. So that's going to wrap it up for today's video, guys. I hope you're as excited as I am to play this damn game. Campaign and multiplayer are both shaping up to be fantastic. We have some wonderful years ahead as Halo fans. So thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you guys later with another single clip that I got inspiration from Chief saying I need a weapon. See you later, guys.